Welcome to our first Look Good, Feel Better Q&A session for 2025. So hard to believe that we're almost at the end of our first month already. My name's Rachel Udamapu and I'm going to be your facilitator this afternoon. So what I would like to do is I'd like to introduce the wonderful Robyn Bailey and Julee Binns. Now, Robyn and Julee are specialist cancer rehabilitation physiotherapists from an organisation called CancerFIT Plus, and they're going to share some practical tips to help boost energy and improve well-being. So we're really looking forward to hearing you ladies, and I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you, Robyn and Julee.
Thank you, Rachel.
Fantastic. Kia ora, everyone.
Kia ora. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry that Julee and I aren't actually together. You're going to have a bit of both of us going on. Yeah, but we are really looking forward to having this opportunity to sharing some of our knowledge with you. Cool.
The title, 3 Simple Ways to Boost Your Energy. We denied about what we wanted to actually have as our introduction, as our heading for our presentation, but we always see energy as one of the issues.
So I guess it's a little bit about us. So Julee and I have been oncology physios for over 20 years combined, which is crazy when we actually say it like that. And we were doing the one-on-one physiotherapy sessions with people, and we found time and time again that it was usually the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. It was people would be searching, trying to find something to help them because of the side effects, because of years down the track, they were still suffering from side effects of treatment. So we were wanting to maybe try and do something else, looking at addressing the barriers that people are facing. Yeah.
And we know there's lots of research from overseas that says prehabilitation. So that time frame before you start treatment for your cancer, even if it's just for 2 weeks prior to commencing those treatments, if you can start with your healthy habits, that is fitness and exercise, your mindset and mental well-being, your nutrition, then the benefits are huge. And that's something that we've really been trying to focus on as well.
Yeah. So we wanted to support people from the point of diagnosis and then through and beyond as much as possible, reducing those barriers. And this is partly why we want to do talks like this, getting education out there, how to help people get started and hopefully boost their energy. Yeah. Wanted quality resources all in one place. We know that once the diagnosis, you're just trying to find everything, find what information works for you, and it can be such a minefield. So that's one of the things we wanted to do. Yeah, and then looking at the other barriers, so often there's a big cost element of getting that support as well, trying to make options free. There's lots of free things that we do, and also yeah, super cheap.
And what we heard from people was just having the flexibility. You know, our lives are busy, let alone trying to fit in appointments and other medical priorities. So doing the things online as we do with education, some of the fitness classes, you can do it in your own time. So that was one of the things that we got feedback about.
That's a little bit of our background, isn't it, Julee? Where we got to that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just the accessibility was a really big matter that we had lots of feedback about, definitely.
Okay, anything else on that?
I just think the motivation we have for this is, well, very personal for me. Unfortunately, I've had a number of family members who've been diagnosed with cancer, and recently, sort of over the last 5 years, I've lost 2 really important people. And that really strengthens my resolve to try and be as give as much as I know and share the things in my experiences with others, and to, yeah, just try and be that connection point that someone might just need to get them started, and starting back on that track of well-being. So that's my personal motivation. Yeah.
I know that all of you joining us are possibly suffering a little bit from fatigue, and that's why you're hoping to try and get some tips on how to improve that. So yeah, we'll kind of get into that a little bit now, you know why we're doing this. But yeah, just on this slide, we've kind of listed quite a few things that can impact on your energy. Yeah, and do you want maybe type in the chat box, maybe things that might be, you think that might be impacting
we'd be
on
interested to know perhaps, your experience, what you think impacts your energy, and it will probably be entirely different for everyone, but we'd be really interested to see perhaps what you think is there something there that we haven't covered that you thought impacted also on your energy levels?
We'll just give you a second to type anything in that you think might be impacting yours. We can just make sure that we cover that off as well. Yeah, psychological motivation.
Yeah, it's a really big one.
Totally agree with that. Neuropathy, yes, balance. Surgery, impact on muscles, yep. Appetite, mental health, pain. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, the work all the way through. It's a really interesting one working, because it also gives people a bit of a focus as well. So it can be quite a positive thing, but it's tough. It's not easy.
Hard. Yeah.
No financial help. Yeah, working through treatment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all really, really impactful things.
Okay. So what do you think might help boost your energy? Have you had any thoughts yourself? Anything you've tried that has been a bit successful, or things that you've tried that was a complete failure? Made it worse? Love to know. If you're happy to type in a bit again then. Sleep.
Sleep, rest, yeah.
But not oversleeping. Interesting. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, supplements. It's helped. Exercise helps, but can make you tired. Yep. Self-care day, mental day off. I love that.
Love that.
Fabulous. Okay. Spending time with your dog.
Energy from your dog. I love that.
Beautiful. And that's like another self-care, and they love it. Beautiful. Okay. So obviously a lot of you will have need a little bit more tips and stuff too, but I love those things coming through. It's so good.
They're really good. Perfect. All right, so the burning question. So where should you start? This is the hardest thing, isn't it, really, getting started? So we think the biggest bang for your buck is to focus on your activity levels. Yeah.
So the research shows that exercise is definitely the best way to improve cancer-related fatigue, and it's usually as a side effect of your treatments. But yeah, I mean, the added benefits of exercise is that it often helps with your pain, it helps with your sleep, it helps with so many things, your mental health, everything. So we know that exercise should be where we should focus on first.
But I think, like we've said, it's the getting started with anything in life, isn't it, really? Sometimes it can be hard to get started on what's the right thing to do. It can be hard afterwards because you may have gone perhaps too hard and suddenly your body's gone, well, wait a minute, that wasn't much fun at all, and your muscles are a bit sore and things. So trying to get that balance is the absolute key. And so we want to give you the tips to make it simpler and to help you get started. That's what we'd like to achieve today.
Yes. So I guess just touching upon what you should be aiming for, and the research kind of shows that people that have had cancer are in general more inactive than their peers. So I guess just defining a little bit of inactivity might help to look at where we should be headed.
Yes, so essentially you're not engaging or being involved in any physical activity, so it could be defined as an inactive lifestyle. But depending on your situation, whether you're in treatment or things, it's going to be relative to where you are at any point in time. So what you were prior to your diagnosis, through treatment and beyond, could look quite different. So we're going to give you some ideas of what the World Health Organization think are the right levels of activity.
So the World Health Organization guidelines are pretty daunting when you first look at them, or it can be daunting. So just keep that in mind. This is pretty daunting for the general population, let alone if you've got side effects still ongoing. So all adults should undertake regular physical activity and should do at least 150 to 300 minutes. So that's 2.5 to 5 hours per week of moderate intensity physical activity, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity. But they also suggest doing a strength session 2 or more days a week as part of those minutes for additional health benefits. So it seems pretty daunting, potentially. I don't know if is anyone online, do you think you're achieving that amount of activity at the moment? Be a great, maybe pop your hand up. Yeah, Mo, great. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, not many, which is totally understandable. Like, it's tough. It is hard.
But I think you'd also reflect on that and say that a lot of the general population, with or without any issues potentially going on, aren't meeting that criteria either. So that's definitely been shown in the research. Yeah,
and I think it's really important just because so many people would look at that and going, oh my gosh, that's so overwhelming. I don't even want to, can't even start. So the World Health Organization also say doing some activity is better than doing none at all. And sometimes you just need to recalibrate, if you're really active before your diagnosis and then, just doing a little bit of activity just seems like it's not even worthwhile. It is, it absolutely is. And it would just be that starting small and doing small amounts and gradually increase is definitely still beneficial. So that's what they also say. Yeah. But we know that it's good for you. So we already know that. But I guess
what impact does exercise have on treatment-related side effects? Well, it's positive. So one of the main things that you want to maintain or improve is obviously muscle mass and strength and power. Cardiovascular fitness, clearly that's a benefit for your heart health, physical function. So we want to maintain independence, especially at home, physical activity levels, its range of motion, just your joints and balance is absolutely critical. Immune function, chemotherapy completion dates, that's obviously an important one. and your body image, self-esteem, mood, and quality of life. So again, everyone's going to prioritize those differently, but without doing the physical activity, you're not going to be able to maintain your muscle mass, strength, and power. So that's a positive impact that exercise will have.
I think it's really great just to remind yourselves like all the benefits, because that really can help with your motivation. And I just spotted Louise's comment, just saying that you find those guidelines hard and almost put you off as you can't achieve it. And I absolutely get that. So hopefully we can just help reinforce the message. Just get started, and slowly is better than
best.
And then we're looking at what exercise hopefully reduces. And so you've got the symptoms and side effects, intensity of those symptoms, hopefully readmissions, the psychological and emotional stress, depression, anxiety, so looking at that mental health and time off work. But in particular, it can affect or reduce that cancer-related fatigue or treatment-related fatigue, and that low energy. So that's what we need to sort of start focusing on, best bang for your buck, as we say. But we know it's really, really hard sometimes to get started. And I think somebody's already kind of mentioned that motivation level. Yeah.
And without the guidance, and that was the reason for the questioning right at the start, did you get guidance? Because if you're caught up in so many new experiences and new bits of information that you're trying to process, then being told just to go and exercise, or you should do some fitness, we don't think that that's enough information to work with. Hence why we've put together this information, and hopefully that's the thing that helps getting to the next level.
So I'd love you just, because everyone's typing away, which is wonderful. What do you think the biggest barrier to getting active is for you, or for general people, general population? I'll give you a minute just to type in if you find that chat box. Fatigue, yeah. Absolutely. Like when you feel exhausted, like the thought of exercising when you feel exhausted at the best of time, hard. Motivation, fatigue, recent surgery limitations. So would that be pain limitations or strength, or getting out of your hammock? Oh, I find that hard too. It sounds divine.
It sounds good. Summertime.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, so I think we already
think it's one of the key elements, as we see it, is actually the motivation, and we saw that. Who said motivation? And there's so many parts to motivation. Is it self-motivation? Are you motivated by, what pushes your buttons? What's the thing that's going to help you get going? So we think that finding your motivation is a key part to our simple steps to and not just physical steps. I think that's the key, isn't it? It's also your mindset, and how do you find your motivation and hold on to it to keep running with it. So that's what we want to share.
And I think with motivation, it will combat a lot of those things. So getting out of your hammock, if you can find a drive, that motivation to get out and do something, then it'll be so much easier. Not wanting to do things on your own, totally understand. We've actually got some thoughts around that too. So with the right motivation, that's where we'd want to start. So step one would be find your motivation.
Find your motivation, yes.
And we've got two mindset type hacks we want to share with you, which have really supported our participants with our programs ourselves, and many of the people that we've worked with over the years. So yeah, we're looking forward to sharing these.
I love what he's written. My motivation is it hurts to move and it hurts not to move. Such a conundrum. I love that. Really good.
Yeah. I think getting in and out of the hammock is exercise in itself. Yeah. Okay, so imagine, I want everyone to imagine those beautiful Greek islands, and you've got the white buildings with the blue doors and windows, and you know, the Santorini type beautiful buildings up on the hill. So hopefully everyone's got that image in their minds. And then think of the donkey that has to take everyone's things up and down those hills. It's hot and it's hard work. And there's two ways that they get that donkey to move, either with a stick kind of from behind and kind of whacking it to get up that hill, or dangling a carrot in front of them and hopefully kind of getting them to move that way. So both these methods will get that donkey to move. One is way more pleasurable than the other one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of thinking, if you think about exercise, you know, your specialist or your medical team have said, hey, great idea, you know, research says it would be good for, well, all of us, let's be honest, to exercise. But being told something like that, it's more like the stick. It's not it's more of a negative driver rather than having a positive connotation. And if you're feeling forced to do something by someone else and it's not coming from within, then yeah, it's very hard to feel positive and to act positively on that stimulus.
And if you go back to those World Health Organization guidelines, if you see that, it can be really negative almost. You're like, oh my gosh, feeling overwhelmed. I'm nowhere near that. And then it's just the stick constantly, like I should be doing that. And then there's guilt associated with it all. So what we'd love you to start thinking about is what carrots you can think about for yourself that might be the way forward. So maybe having a vision for yourself or what you would like to be able to do, how you want to be able to feel, and then those kind of things then become your carrots, if that makes sense. So your own personal health goals. It might be a future vision of what you want to do for work, or you might be able to walk the grandkids to school, or, you know, just things that are important to you, and you can use them as part of your motivation. That's the idea.
Yeah, so it almost comes like a call to action, isn't it? You know, you've got your carrots out there, you know what your motivators are, and you know that it's going to give you the physical and the mental benefits, and it's just going to give you a little bit of oomph, and the chances of that you're looking at it positively and you're going to get active as a result. So it's all, a nice way to look at it, really.
Yes. So can anyone think of any carrots right now for them that they could write down, and I'm happy to share? So this is kind of your first action point, is just really thinking about defining maybe one, maybe a couple of carrots down. Can't see the chat box at the moment. Oh, here you go.
Oh, fitness for holiday. That's a really good one, isn't it?
That's a great
one.
You're
going to enjoy your holiday more.
Do you can go deeper on that. What kind of holiday, where are you wanting to go? You know, just get a little bit, have a really,
Nikki, I see, you've got some physical limitations, haven't you, based on maybe having had surgery recently? So,
oh, sorry, the connection's not so good. Any other ones people want to share? Totally fine. It's very personal. So, you ever still cycle with your husband? Robyn, love that.
Shared activities, that's nice. Traveling to work for Peru, decided to tag along. Yes, there you go. How good.
Machu Picchu, tick that box. Able to walk around the mall. Brilliant.
Yeah. Got to have those little goals.
Flying
absolutely.
holiday to Japan. So maybe you can print off a picture of Machu Picchu, put it up there. Yeah, beautiful. Going for a walk with friends and not slowing them down. I guarantee your friends do not mind if they would love to be with you. So don't put that off doing it, but it's an awesome goal. Go striding ahead of them. Come on.
Absolutely, matter of time.
Okay, brilliant. So now we've got you thinking about those carrots, about those motivations. We want to now add a bit of emotion to these now, because that's going to hopefully cement in that motivation side of things.
Absolutely. So finding your emotional why is the really important part of just getting deeper into why it's important to you. So we've got a really nice way of looking at this. In fact, it's 7 levels deeper. So this is a really great process to go through.
So there's a fellow called Dean Graziosi. He's an American entrepreneur, and he shared this process, the 7 levels deep. And it's just to try and go a little bit deeper into that emotional side of things.
Yeah, so for this process, you'll see highlighted there in the peach color, you ask yourself what is important to you, about your top goal or your vision that you have. So for the example we have here is to feel healthier and to be more energetic. So that's a good one to pop up there. And it could be that you want to be, have a happy family or more financial security. It could be anything like that.
So the idea is then whatever your answer is to that first level, you're then asking yourself, why is this important to you? And then it might come up with a different answer. And you go, okay, well, why is this important to you? And you just going down. So this is all very personal. Love you to take this concept away with you and do it after the session. But what you'll find is that after the first maybe 3 or 4 levels, you might start going away from your head and logical type answers to more emotional, your heart kind of level. And this is just sort of a little bit of an example of what people might kind of think about. And you're going
so
into the self-worth.
Contribution. And it will always come back to family, as I see it. I know when I did it, that was my primary driver. And ultimately that level 7 to have purpose, I mean, I think that says it all, doesn't it? That's such an important aspect for all of us.
I think Dean's one was to have more control. I think that's another powerful one. So it's quite interesting. When I did the process, like honestly, my whole body shifted when you're going into that emotional side of it. And if you just keep asking yourself until you get to your final one, and you'll know when it is, and you're like, okay, this is my emotional why, you can then attach that to your carrots, and you go, okay, I want to be able to go to Machu Picchu, and this is why, because I want to take control of my life again. I want to have those options. And it's really, really powerful. So that is our simple step number 1, is looking at your motivation, your emotional why to your carrots. Step 2, setting yourself a big, scary goal. Might seem a bit silly.
I think, first of all, it's really important to understand the benefits of goal setting. So you have a little bit of knowledge, and so then you understand, well, we're recommending that this should be one of the prioritized options. So setting a goal, especially around the clarity and focus, it gives you clear direction and focus for your effort. So you're getting really, so you know what you're going to prioritize and what you're working towards. So that's obviously really an important part of a goal setting plan.
Having motivation or goal setting really helps with your motivation. So having specific goals that can motivate you to take action even when you're having a really tough day. That's
measuring your progress, always good to have a benchmark. So always good if you are starting fitness to maybe do a bit of a fitness test. Where are you starting from? Because we often forget as time goes on and as we progress what the beginning looks like. So something like that can really help your motivation, see how far you've come and where you'd like to get to, what still needs to be done.
Keeps you accountable. So yeah, having those little milestones, you can tick them off. That's really good.
Yeah, time management. You're allocating your precious time and resources, and you're focusing on things that are important to you. So that's really important.
Building confidence as well. I think going through treatments can really knock your confidence, whether that's physically or mentally. And achieving some goals, ticking them off, can really boost that and your self-esteem again. So that's another beautiful benefit of goal setting.
And improved performance sort of sounds more like you're a high-level elite athlete or something, but the reality is it's not just improving it, it's making you future-proofed in the sense of like improving your balance, which will stop you falling perhaps at some point in time when you're older. So that's what I think is important to see what your outcome will be, and that not falling would be a really good outcome for all of us, really.
And then looking at our purpose and meaning and achieving goals can really help give that fulfillment and really align with your values and aspirations as well. So lots and lots of benefits of goal setting. It's not something that is done that regularly when we think of low level of activity. So it's still so good. And that's why we end up going for the big scary goal first and then breaking it down. Yeah. We know it's really tough to maybe consider what the future might hold when you've had a cancer diagnosis, and we're not undermining that at all. To have the goal of going to Machu Picchu is absolutely incredible. And we think it's really valuable to set these big goals. Be able to walk up Machu Picchu it's a challenge. And it's an awesome challenge. And it really helps kind of recalibrate really, and just going, actually, let's aim for it. You're
pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, aren't you? And that from that you're gaining inspiration. And I think you get thrown off track when you've had cancer and treatments and all those things thrown at you that just weren't part of the plan. So you have to dig deep, and a goal like this will remind you that you are strong and that you are resilient, and that you've already been through some tough times, so you can push through to the next goal.
So how do you achieve these big goals? So we suggest that you visualize it, imagine, keep going back to your Machu Picchu because it's such an incredible vision. So printing off a picture of it, or it might be the Great Walks, put a map, print off the map, put it somewhere. It might be a picture of your grandkids and interacting with them. Just visualize what it's going to be or what you'd like to do, and make it more real by having it somewhere that you're going to see every day.
And even though it is a big goal and you think, gosh, it's a long way away, if you break it into smaller, more manageable milestones, that plan and your aspirations to make that happen, it'll be less intimidating, but also be surprised at how quickly you can work through those milestones and get to that point, probably more quickly than you anticipated.
The next point is just staying flexible and reevaluating. We know life happens. It's not always straightforward, and just being realistic and not being too disheartened by that, but just flipping it when you need to, and just recalibrate those break it down moments, for sure.
And definitely celebrating the small wins. Every step you take is a step in the right direction. So it isn't about making it well, having a perfect track. You might do a few zigs and a few zags to get there, but yeah, you've got to just have that as your catalyst and keep the momentum going, really.
Yeah, wonderful. So we're not like wanting to get you to ignore the reality of your experience, but just dream big. Should all be doing it, I think. And then step 3 of these simple steps,
get moving.
About getting moving. So this is everything you're doing before that is to get to this point and try and drive your motivation to be able to, you know, just think, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes of movement. And before you might have thought 5 minutes isn't even worth it, but it totally is. So you've got to start somewhere and then gradually build.
Some is better than none.
Yeah, so we're going to give you some tips on getting started with exercise. So the first point is that we always recommend that you do consult with your GP or your medical team just to make sure that you are cleared to exercise. The majority of people would be absolutely fine, but you might have your own condition that you might need to make some changes or tweaks to.
The key is to start slow. You might not, be confident in what your body can do anymore if it's had a few changes along the way. So you want to start with gentle things. You're walking, stretching, yoga, even relaxation is beneficial, obviously, and listen to your body. And someone typed that in earlier, and I think it's always a good tip. What you do after your cancer diagnosis might look entirely different to what you did prior, but that's okay. It's a stepping stone. You meet those milestones, you move forward. So yeah, maybe your expectations have to change, but yeah, let your body have time to gradually build up.
Beautiful. Staying hydrated and nourished, really, really important. I know there's a question that's come through about nutrition, but it really helps if you maintain your balanced diet and support your energy levels, and your recovery from exercising is important.
And I think reiterating, listen to your body comes up again.
It's important.
And find enjoyable activities. No one's going to decide they're going to start skydiving. Well, maybe they do, and wouldn't say don't do it, because I used to skydive. That's right. I would never say don't do it. It's so much fun. But yeah, make sure it's realistic and things that really push your buttons and give you joy.
Yeah. For instance, I do tap dancing, which sounds really random, but I love it. It's my feel good thing. And that is movement, that's exercise, it's a brain workout too. So just find the things that you love, because it makes it so much easier. And leverage support networks. So I know a couple of people said about exercising by themselves doesn't appeal. Yeah, so finding groups that are like-minded, or you get that support network. One of the things about our programs is that Julie and I work out with you in our videos. So people have said it's not like they're working out by themselves, because they've got us having our silly banters and everything else. So it's not for everyone at all. We get that. But they feel, they're in their own home, but they feel like they're part of something, which is beautiful. Yeah.
And also don't underestimate how important relaxing your body is, and also using breathing techniques. We talk about that a lot also as another tool for improving, just techniques that you have for your own body, and to recognize, I don't know, even if you're slightly stressed for some reason, that you can bring that back. So that's important.
I think in my own physiotherapy practice, I am literally prescribing relaxation more and more and more with people, because it impacts hugely on people's recovery if you're in fight or flight. So it's really, really important. Next point about celebrating milestones, just being able to do that walk with your friends without feeling like you're slowing them down, like that's awesome. That off, and then plan a activity together that you can do, an event you could do together, and things like that's awesome. Ticking those off helps momentum.
I love this question. What if you're an active relaxer? I would always claim to be that person, but I actually had to learn to slow down. Robyn taught me that. I figured I was relaxing, but I was all go. And actually, I have improved my connection to my body by giving myself permission to relax. So I would suggest that's something that you might want to revisit, just from my own personal experience.
Often, if you have been through the experience that you all have, it can put you into that fight or flight mode. And if you are in that fight or flight, your whole body is in that fight or flight, and your brain turns into a meerkat brain that's on alert all the time. So it means that often when you go to sit down and relax, the meerkat thinks it's you're like under threat all the time. So it's not going to let you relax. It's going to make you, get up, move. You'll feel more comfortable because it's not allowing you to relax. So that's definitely all about the activity, but learning to relax is also great. And then I think finally is sort of be patient and kind to yourself. And I think that's so important for sure.
Okay. So
summary.
3 simple ways. So, I mean, I guess you could say there isn't a simple way to boost your energy, but there's some strategies that can really help you find the best way for you. So obviously, step 1, find your motivation. We think that's crucial to success, really, at the end of the day. Step 2, set that big, scary goal. And step 3, the one that we are super passionate about, is getting moving.
So just thinking about where you might get some additional support if you do need that as well. There's definitely, the in-person physiotherapy support if you have access to that in your local areas. You go.
And again, in-person classes, find what gives you joy, that it might be Tai Chi, yoga, Pilates, just whatever works for you, what you really find your body enjoys.
Yeah, and then online options. I mean, since all the lockdowns and things, online has gone huge. So we provide online options, but there's lots and lots of things out there, and hopefully makes it a little bit more accessible for everyone, which is great. And a bit about what.
So we have a website, and on that website we offer a free, what we call free essentials membership. So it's almost like the fundamentals. It's a way to look deeper into what your healthy habits are. And we have some courses, 6-week course that we offer. And as a part of seeing, hey, is this for me, we offer a 1-week free access to that course. So it covers off things. An example would be fatigue management, how to exercise safely, some of the principles of movement, Pilates and such. And we also give you the opportunity to actually try our fitness classes without any obligation. So it's for a whole week. You get to have a look at those. And we feel like we've done something a little different. We both exercise, like Robyn mentioned, but during the actual fitness class, one of us is doing a low intensity or moderate intensity workout, and the other one is doing the next level up. So low and moderate, or moderate and high. So you can work out, even between each particular exercise, what works for you. So that's, we think, a really nice option. You get to try and say, okay, is this something that would work for me? And you also have access to our Facebook group, Momoho, which is Maori for thrive, to thrive, Momoho movement, and that's for both peer and professional support.
Yeah, we do have all of our content then through full memberships, which works out about $10 a week as a subscription. So if anyone wants to look at those options, got heaps of classes online. But the essentials is like, that's our passion. Like, we wanted to get access to something for everyone. so definitely feel free to check that out if that's an option for you guys. So,
oh, and I can see Rachel's put a link in the chat as well, so you can have a look there.
so there's a couple of questions. I think asked about taking medications. Oh yeah, so just giving you permission to take your meds if you want to go for a walk, and that's great. Yeah. I think the benefits you'll get from building up your tolerance and your strength and your endurance will outweigh, you won't be doing damage as such. Damage is such a damaging word, in fact, to even think of. And
Ladies, there was another one there that was what would be considered as exercise, e.g. working in the garden, gentle stuff, you know, as I guess every type of movement's considered exercise, isn't it?
activity.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think gardening can be quite physical. It isn't my garden, at least. Maybe that's just how I approach it. But again, I think gardening, dancing, anything that's movement
Then
is
moderate exercise is when you're raising your heart rate a little bit, but you're still able to hold a conversation. And that's where that 2.5 to 5 hours a week is recommended for general health for people. So just beginning that much less and sort of gradually build up to aim for that is wonderful. But anything that, yeah, is challenging your body, but you can still hold a conversation is within that realm of fitness as such. So yeah.
We had another one come through before the class as well as when or should you push yourself through tiredness?
Yes, so that's really interesting. So should you push through? It's really hard because if you're constantly tired, how do you even get started? So one of the things that we talk about in fatigue management is exercising in times of the day that you feel most energy in general of your fatigueness. So for a lot of people, it's first thing in the morning. And prioritizing your bigger activities for the times of the day that you feel that. Trying to do an activity, you know, after lunch in the afternoon is usually the worst time to do it. So if your friends are like, oh, let's go for a walk then, really consider the impact of that, because if you do it and you push through, but then you suffer for 3 days afterwards, then it's not worth it. But maybe consider yourself in that and just go, actually, is there any chance we could do it in the morning? That's when I feel best and we'll get the most out of it. So what you'll find is over time when you're exercising in those times of the day that you feel most energy, is that gradually those more intense fatigue times of the day will be less intense, or it will take longer before you feel it. And gradually, hopefully, that you'll start seeing more of an impact. And the other thing to think about is pacing. So if you've got medical appointments and you've got catch up with friends for a coffee, and you're going to tag on the supermarket shop because you're out anyway, and you're going to then go for a walk. When you're thinking about all those things, cramming it in, that's when that fatigue can really hit as well. So don't just think, oh, I'm just going to push through. It'll be lovely to see my friends, because usually that's really tiring at the same time. You've got that mental conversation. It might be a loud, noisy cafe that you've got to concentrate even harder with listening. So it's just about pacing. Say, actually, I might do that tomorrow because I've got nothing else on. I'll do the supermarket shop tomorrow, or I'll order online and pick it up instead. So really just thinking about spreading things out as much as possible is a really good tip. Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks, Robyn. We've got here saying she's only getting every second word, so can she watch the video later? What she will be able to, that will be able to you available to you later. And also, Julie and Robyn, we're able to get your PowerPoint sent out, aren't we, with all your good tips on there as well?
We can do something. We'll put a little guideline thing for you.
Guideline together. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Now, I just have one more question in here that came in prior, is some suggestions on food to eat for energy.
Always a good question. Obviously, we're physiotherapists. We definitely have an interest in nutrition based on that role as a physio, but we're not dietitians, we're not nutritionists. So just a little bit of a disclaimer first. And I think often when we talk about what food to eat, we find it easier to say, oh, don't eat this or don't do that, rather than giving good advice about what you should eat. And definitely the latest research is showing there's such a strong connection between the gut and our gut health and also our brain health. And actually, if we look at the what structures they both have very similar makeup. So we could almost say that your gut is your second brain. So it is incredibly important. And so if we end up needing a big hit of energy and aiming ourselves at one of those energy drinks that's loaded with caffeine and loaded with sugar, then it's a bit of a spiral that we don't want to get into. That's just the worst option, really. And we know traditionally sugar has been something that has been very prevalent. And I read somewhere that unless you're really watching your sugar, you can easily eat up to 37 teaspoons of sugar a day just in the foods that we eat, because it's chucked in to make us feel good. So that's a bit of a worry. So, but anyway, back to your question, the things that you should eat for energy, it's always going to be about protein and making sure that you are taking in the right amount of protein to maintain muscle mass, which obviously as we age is just that little bit more challenging. And so you're going to be aiming to have eggs and poultry, dairy products, that sort of thing. They're going to help with your protein intake. And I read something recently that you can get protein from plant-based food, but it's much harder. So hopefully people know what quinoa is. Well, apparently you have to get 6 cups of quinoa to get the same amount of protein as a chicken breast. So that's sort of a little bit of a comparison of, you know, how much more difficult it is to get the protein levels you need out of plant-based. It's not impossible, it just means you've got to work a bit harder at it. And the other thing that's very, very important is water, hydration. We should be drinking 2 liters of water a day, and that's really important for all the processes that our body is undertaking. So we are always going on about hydration, at least 2 liters of water a day, especially during our summer months.
I did just see a question here about issue is slowing down, and you've always been very active, lots of stuff in the garden, but can't do it all. It's hard to accept. Yeah. So again, it's back to pacing. So making sure that you're doing it in times of the day and then breaking it up. But it absolutely is tough. But gradually, if you can add in a bit of a strengthening program in your week, it can also allow you to have the endurance and the muscle strength to be able to tolerate longer in the garden. So it's thinking, because I'm not passionate about doing a strength workout either, but I do it so I can do the things that I really love. And I think that's enough of a motivator for me. And that really helps me. So we do, if you are struggling a bit more with your motivation, we have got a Reset Your Motivation free online challenge, which is coming in February. So absolutely register for that if you want a bit more in depth to all the other factors that can impact on motivation as well. So we've got, action-packed session for that.
Wonderful, ladies. Look, thank you very much. I think we're just about out of time there, but really appreciate all the tips and tricks, and particularly I think you said your 3 hacks at the start of, you know, find that motivation, goal setting, and get moving, and you know, just taking some time to think about those things. And look, I've you know, been on your website, and there's lots of information on the website. So yeah, I hope everybody will be out. We'll send all of this out to you as well. But I guess from everyone around the room, and from me, from the beautiful sunny Taranaki, Robyn and Julie, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. And thanks for everyone's participation.
Yes, no, wonderful.